Welcome to Mastery Lab channel. This class will show problem-solving techniques from basic mathematical concepts to operation skills to prepare the students for math contests such as MathCons, MOEMs, and AMC8. Starting from fundamental exercises to challenging problems with detailed solutions are demonstrated.
Hello everyone, welcome to our mathematics class. In our lesson today, we will introduce a new kind of number, fractions. We will first introduce the basic concept and then important properties of fractions. You will find a lot of things new and full of fun. Now let's get started and see what's inside. First of all, let's take a look at what is fraction. So fraction is a math representation, but its application exists everywhere in our daily life. So in real life, fraction is a partition and share of a whole. So suppose, for example, we have a pizza that was cut into 5 equal slices. And then we take 2 slices out of the 5. So a share of 2 slices out of 5 is a fraction. Okay? It's written as 2 over 5, here shown in the red. And it can be read as 2/5 or 2 over 5. So here we have a circle representing the pizza, cut into 5 slices and 2 is taken out. So it's 2/5. Now using the same pizza, this time we're going to cut it differently. So the figure on the right is the pizza that is this time cut into 8 equal parts. And 3 slices are taken out of it. So it's a share of 3 slices out of 8 that makes a fraction. And it's written as 3 over 8, as shown here in red. So it can be read as 3/8 or 3 over 8. Let's look at fractions in a generalized form. So previously, we know that a division of two numbers, any two numbers, say a and b, can be written as a divided by b, where here b cannot be 0. And it can be also expressed as a fraction. So a divided by b is simply written as a over b, here shown in this red. So a division is equivalent to a fraction. And here a is the numerator and b is the denominator. Now note that a and b here can be both either positive numbers or negative numbers. Let's take a look at a few examples. So we have negative 2 over 5. Here we have a negative number on the numerator. And we have 7 over negative 10, where the negative number is on the denominator. And we have 10 over negative 7, 10 over 7, 11 over 17. So these are all valid fractions. Now, for the negative signs, that is in some of the fractions you've seen in the example above, they can be either placed on the numerator, they can also be placed on the denominator, or they can be placed in front of the fraction, and the values are all equivalent. So for example, if we take negative 2 over 5, it's the same as 2 over negative 5, and it's the same as negative 2 over 5. So for 7 over negative 10, it's the same as negative 7 over 10, and it's also the equivalent of negative 7 over 10. So our first type of fraction is called a proper fraction. So in a proper fraction, the numerator is less than the denominator. Now, if we review the examples from previously on partitions and share, where we had a whole pizza and we cut it up into equal pieces and took several slices out to get fractions. So if we cut a pizza into 5 equal pieces and took 2 out, that's 2/5. And if we cut the pizza into 8 equal pieces and took 3 out, that's 3/8. Now the values for these fractions is less than 1. The second type of fraction is improper fraction, where the numerator is greater than or equal to the denominator. So if we let a and b represent any number where b does not equal to 0 and a is always greater than or equal to b, then a over b is an improper fraction. So 5/2, 10/7, 8/8, all of these are examples of improper fractions. Now there are a few special cases to take note. So specifically for the first one, when the numerator is equal to the denominator. So if we let a again represent any number other than 0, so a over a is equal to 1, since any number divided by itself is equal to 1. Now if we take an example, we let the letter a equal to the number 8. So 8 over 8 is equal to 1. Now the second case is when the numerator is equal to 0. So in that case, what we have is 0 over 8, that equal to 0, because 0 divided by any number is equal to 0. So again, if we let the letter a equal to the number 8, the example we have is 0 over 8 is equal to 0. So a whole number can be expressed as an improper fraction, where the denominator can be anything that you desire. And to keep in mind that the fraction bar is a division sign. Okay? So if you understood that, then any whole number can be represented into an improper fraction. For example, the number 3, that equals to 18 divided by 6, and it can be written as 18 over 6. Or it can also be written as 15 over 5, or 24 over 8. So all of these are improper fractions, and the result is all equals to 3. Let's look at what is a mixed number. So a mixed number is a combination of a whole number and a fraction. So hence the name mixed, where we have both the whole number and a fraction to represent a number. So the way we write a mixed number is we first write the whole number and then closely followed by a fraction. Okay? So let's show some examples. For example, 4 and 5/7, 9 and 1/8. These are mixed numbers. Now in real life, suppose that you have 3 apples and then you have another half apple. Okay? So the total amount of apple you have is 3 and 1/2. And we can write it using a mixed number shown here in red. So remember that a mixed number is a whole number added with a fraction. So let's show an example. 4 and 5/7, that is equivalent to 4 plus 5/7. So mixed number is always greater than 1.
Now that we know what is a mixed number, let's next learn how to convert the mixed number into improper fraction. And we're going to do this conversion separately with the denominator first and then the numerator. Now for the denominator of the improper fraction, it is the same denominator as in the fraction of the mixed number. And that is it. Now, in the calculation of the numerator of the improper fraction, there are two steps involved in this. In our first step, we're going to look at the mixed number, and we're going to take its whole number and multiply it with the denominator of the fraction. And this multiplication will generate a product. Okay. And moving on, in our second step, we're going to take that product and then add it to the numerator of the fraction in the mixed number. So that sum is the result for the final numerator of the improper fraction. So these are all the steps involved. Next, let's look at two examples. So we first have a mixed number, which is 4 and 5/7. So to convert that into an improper fraction, the denominator is going to be 7. It is the same denominator as in the fraction of the mixed number. Now for the numerator, we're going to first take the 4, which is the whole number, and then multiply it by 7, which is the denominator of the fraction. And that product, we're going to add it to 5, which is the numerator of the fraction. So it's 4 times 7 plus 5, and that equals to 33. So the final improper fraction is 33/7. Now let's look at our second example. We have a mixed number, 9 and 1/8. So here, to convert it into improper fraction, the denominator is going to be 8. As we said earlier, it is the same denominator as in the fraction of the mixed number. Okay. Now for the numerator, we're going to take the whole number 9, multiply that by 8, which is the denominator of the fraction in the mixed number. That equals to 72, and we're going to add the 72 to 1, which is the numerator of the fraction in the mixed number, and that equals to 73. So the final improper fraction is 73/8. So previously, we have learned how to convert a mixed number into an improper fraction. Now let's see what happens if we do it the other way around. That is, how do we convert an improper fraction into a mixed number? So as we mentioned earlier, in a fraction, we can always treat the fraction bar as a division sign. So what that means is, if I have an improper fraction, I can use the denominator to divide the numerator. Okay? And the result of this division, the quotient, is the whole number part of the mixed number. Okay? And the remainder of this division is the numerator of the fraction part in the mixed number. And the divisor is the denominator of the fraction part in the mixed number. So here we're going to look at a general formula. Okay? So if we have a fraction where we have numerator on the top and denominator at the bottom, it's equivalent as a dividend on the top and a divisor at the bottom. And the result of this division, the quotient, is the whole number part of the mixed number. The remainder is the numerator of the fraction part, and the divisor is the denominator part of the fraction. Next, let me show you how to do it in two examples. Let's look at our first example to convert an improper fraction to a mixed number. Now keep in mind that improper fraction has a numerator that is greater than or equal to the denominator. So let's start with 703/8. And we said earlier that a fraction bar is equivalent of a division sign. So it's equivalent of 703 divided by 8. And now let's compute it. We're going to use a vertical long division. And we're going to use some color to highlight different elements of this division. Okay. So in this division, in the result, we have a quotient which is 87, and that's in purple. It also has a remainder of 7, and that's highlighted in red. Okay? Now we have all of the different elements, and we're going to put them into a mixed number. Okay? So the 87, which is the quotient, will be the whole number for the mixed number, and that is the purple part. And the remainder 7 will be the numerator part of the fraction in the mixed number. And the divisor 8 in green will be the denominator part of the fraction in the mixed number. So our final answer is 87 and 7/8. Let's look at our second example to convert an improper fraction into a mixed number. So this time we have 11/2. Much smaller numbers compared to the previous example. So as we said, a fraction bar is the same as a division sign. So 11/2 is the same as 11 divided by 2. And we're again going to compute this division, and we're going to use a vertical long division. Now for 11 divided by 2, it has a quotient which is 5, and it also has a remainder which is 1. So let's look at a different way to represent this division. Okay. So for 11 divided by 2, 11 is the dividend, 2 is the divisor, and that equals to 5, which is the quotient. The letter R represents remainder, and the actual remainder 1. Now let's use these different elements in the result, and then we're going to form our mixed number. So 5, the quotient, is going to be the whole number in the mixed number. The remainder 1 is the numerator of the fraction in the mixed number. And the divisor 2 is the denominator in the fraction for the mixed number. So our final answer is 5 1/2.